Hi, my name is Tim. I'm Senior Application Specialist at ATRsoft. In today's webinar, we will continue looking at Custom Tools 2017 features and enhancements. The first part of the webinar is, as always, available from our webpage and YouTube. I will show you where to find these shortly. With me today, I have my wingman, the Symphony of Business Sales Manager, Mr. Francois Simon, who will answer your questions. Use the chat box in the GoToWebinar panel. I will make room after the session for more questions to let you follow the presentation better. We expect the webinar to take somewhere in the range of 30 minutes, and the webinar is being recorded as always and will be made available online later on. Okay, let's get started. For the sake of PowerPoint, I have listed here the items that I'd like to show you today. Everything will be shown live, so I'll quickly jump through these slides. I'm going to show the export that we have added, some user interface enhancements, and some safe drawing from DXF conversion. Actually, we're going to spend quite a lot of time in the print and convert dialog. We have a brand new entry called tasks, which you will like a lot if you are a sheet metal shop. If you send step files for external partners or to internal downstream work, then the Convert to Step option will be a good addition to your toolset as well. The Rebuild task will open and rebuild files for you to have them in perfect condition for PDM check-ins, etc. The Rebuild task will ensure that models and drawings are up to date and will update cut list. Sorry about that, and will update cut list properties automatically. This has not been developed fully, and this is one of the reasons that SP1 is not released yet, so I'm not even able to show you that at all. And while we are for sure not a PDM system, we still know references, so now we actually support renaming of files, keeping all references intact. This is already made as a customer-specific task, but for the 2013 version, not an official build. And then the plan is to include this in 2017 SP1. So this I'm not even able to show you either. But basically what you need to do is go to Properties, select Rename, and then based on the reference for that file, we are going to update all these references so everything will be kept intact. I will also show you things that we added in the options so you understand where to find these settings, as well as some new functionality. There is no time to waste, let's bring it on. So first I'm going to run a search, and let me see if I'm connected. Yeah, I still am. So the first thing I'm going to show is the list. In many of our windows we now have a list where you can open and export to a CSV file. So if I'm going to open this one, I can then format and auto fit, and then we can see all our files in that list. This one actually exists many places. So for the where used, I have a list entry, same options. From the export, based on your profile, we export these settings, but the list is in here as well. And from the print and convert, we have the list as well. I'm going to open up this file and show you some of the new things that we added. And I'm going to show you that, of course, we have it from the where used in here as well, the list. So now I'm going to open up this drawing. And please notice that we have in this part file some countersink holes coming in from both sides. So in the first webinar, I showed you that we have these new options to create a cutting profile as well as a bending sheet. I'm just going to run these really quick, the cutting profile as well as the bend sheet. Now these two are going to create two individual sheets for you. The DXF sheet is going to clean away all of the unwanted geometry, the sketch lines for the countersink holes, and then create a one-to-one representation and remove all the noise from this view. So we have a good DXF ready to cut on our laser. And the bend sheet we also showed last time where we include some dimensioning and bend lines and whatnot. But imagine that you do not have all of these sheets already in your files, and you want to create different DXF files, or maybe a PDF file for your bending documentation, and then we actually can run this as a task now. So in print and convert, there are some user interface enhancements as well. So if I go to tasks, this is a new item. I can now select from different predefined tasks that we have, and I'm sure more will follow, but these two will get you started at least. So if I'm going to select that I want to create bending sheets for this one, then we show a pop-up that the batch conversion rule bending instruction was automatically selected. So this is a feature enhancement or user interface enhancement. You can see that I now selected a task, so we have one selected, and we also got one selected for the batch conversion. You will notice that we add a bend sheet. This is set in cursive text because it actually does not exist. The drawing is behind here, so you can see it's only sheet 1 currently. And if I select one more task, a new pop-up will show. If I select both really quick, they will be in one pop-up. But now you can see that I have 2 tasks and 2 conversion rules selected. So if I investigate the conversion rules, I can see that the DXF cutting is going to create a DXF from this sheet, and the bending instructions is going to create a PDF file from this sheet. On top of that, and this is not required at all, but you can actually go ahead and save the file with these new sheets in them. So this is set for this conversion or this task. So I hit OK, and then CUSTOMTOOLS will start working, and it will create the DXF sheet as well as the bend sheet, then convert to DXF and PDF. So everything is happening as we see it. So let me just go back to SolidWorks. So now I can explore into that folder, and we can see that we have now a bending instructions created just now, looking like this. And a DXF file. Looking like this, where we cleaned out these countersink circles because we don't need those for the laser cutter. And we also performed a save on the drawing, so now the drawing is saved with these new sheets in it. Okay, let's close out these ones. And then go for a bracket. We also introduced a new item or a new feature for the print and convert. So basically in the old days, that means SP0 and previous, you could create a DXF file from a sheet metal file. This one does not have any drawing. As you can see, there is no drawing attached to it. I can see the where used, no drawings. By the way, we also detect if it's a sheet metal file, and we include a tick mark. And if you wanted to export this one, I'm just going to open it. We actually include that tick mark so you can clearly see what is sheet metal and what is not. So if you have a flat pattern in your part file, then the sheet metal is detected and you will have that tick mark. Okay, so I want to create a DXF file from this part file. So this is no problem. But maybe I wanted to keep the drawing as well. So during the conversion to DXF, we actually create a temp file, a drawing file in SolidWorks. And then when the DXF is created, we throw away that drawing. Now we have an option to keep that. So if I hit OK to that, we're going to create the drawing, export that as a DXF, and then save the drawing. So now if I look at the where used, we now have a drawing for this one. And if I use the open drawing, I can open it directly. For some reason that does not look correct, but we have it anyway. There are also another user interface enhancement and general enhancement, you could say. That is when you encounter an error when you export things. So for the batch conversion, I have now forced this into create an error. So it's basically the same. I now export a DXF file from the part file, and then I'm going to try and save the drawing as well. But in this case, the drawing save path is incorrect, so it cannot save the drawing. Earlier, you would get a big red line that something went horribly wrong, and you would be quite scared. But now, actually, if we are going to run that, we should get a different kind of warning. Yeah, so now the batch operation have completed, but there were some warnings. So let's see what that is. What is wrong? Well, we failed to save the created drawing because the file path is empty or could be incorrect. So now we have a level called warning, so it's not an error, right? So we did something, we didn't complete everything. Let me close these ones and then open up my assembly here. This one I really like because this is actually looking really simple, but in fact it's quite complicated and a very nice feature if you are working with exporting files to subcontractors or to some downstream work in your company. In this case, you can see that I'm using a generic serial number, so everything is called 49, 50, 51, so on. And maybe that is not super intuitive when you open up a step file. So let me just show you what is actually going on. I'm going to save this one as a step file. So step, and just save that, give it a new name because I want to open it alongside with this one. So call that 1. So now we're going to export this to a step file. So the assembly is saved as a step file. If I explore into the folder, and then I can do like this, open up the step file. Then we have the step file. Here is a nice trick as well. This is not custom tools, this is SolidWorks. So if you have a really cluttered tree like this one, you can actually clean that up in SolidWorks 2017 by right-clicking, Tree Display, and Do Not Show Configuration Display State Names if only one exists. This will really help you. So now we cleaned that tree really nice, and it's more easy to see what is going on. So I'm going to tile these two guys vertically. This one over here is the assembly from SolidWorks. We have the file names, 49, 51, 52, and so on. And this is what I exported. So I get the 49 left, and then a bunch of 49s, 49 right. But really, it's not super clear what is these parts actually doing. Maybe I would like to have a description added to this name, as well as a configuration name. We can do that now. So from the print and convert, let me just select the assembly over here. Print, convert. We now have an option to manipulate the file names that you see in this tree. So this is what I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to create a step file from the top level assembly using a custom naming scheme for these bodies when they are exported. So that one was exported, and I'm just going to rename that really quick. So I can open that as well. Reason I'm renaming, by the way, is the name is going to be the same. So to avoid any conflict in SolidWorks, this is what we are doing. So now I can tile everything vertically again, and now we can see. This is the one that I just created. And again, I'm just going to right-click, Tree Display, and Do Not Show. So now we customize the name. Instead of just having a 000049, we now have the description as well, called brick, as well as the configuration name, so left, default, and right. For the 51, 52 components, it's making even more sense because now you can see the C, the U, the S, T, O, M, and so on. So now you can see that the description is added in here as well. So really a nice way of exporting, and you can really manipulate these names to whatever liking you have. All of these properties can be picked from whatever you have in your custom properties defined. Okay. Let me just open up the options. I'm just going to close all of these ones. Do not save. Now, let me start in Custom Tools 2016. So in Custom Tools 2016, when you open up a profile, it will look like this. So now I'm going to open up the admin and then the profile options from 2017 SP0 or SP1 actually. As you can see, we changed a bit how the user interface looks. It's more modern now. But one thing that you will really like is that now you can define different print and conversion. You do not have that in the 16, you have that in 17. So you can define sheet format, layer definition, as well as file conversion directly from your admin interface. And that is a feature that has been requested quite a bit. So now we give that to you. Another thing that has been requested quite a bit is to manipulate rel colors. So I can actually go ahead and delete everything in here. And then we have an import. So I can import the default set. And this is going to just load in whatever we would put in the profile in normal circumstances. This list can obviously be exported as well. So I'm going to export that. I can call it rel. And then I can actually open up the rel file. And really easily can I manipulate this HCR soft and just rename the labels if I want to. I can even adjust the code for these colors. So when I save that, I can go back and I could select to delete everything again and then import this time, load a file, and then load this one that I just created now. So now I got HCR Soft and Francois. So a really nice way of using rel colors. Huge request from our customers, so now that is included as well. Then we are going to have a look at these cutting profile and bending sheet options, because in the first webinar I covered all of the above, and now I'm going to talk a bit about these task settings. So when you run a cutting profile, you can define that it's going to run as a task. When it's run as a task, we can define that we want to save the drawings by default, and we want to maybe print or convert a file. So everything is up to you. You can define what to do and what to use. So whatever you have for a file conversion rule, you can use that in here. The same is true for the bending sheet options. You can save the drawings by default, and then you can select to print or convert in the same operation. For the file conversion itself, if I look at, for instance, the DXF keep temp file, now for DXF files, we have updated a bit in the options for DXF. So now there is an option to save the created temporary drawing, and we are going to offer you a default save path. And the reason we are doing that is because here you need to mind what you are doing. If you select the exact same file name as your original drawing, then you could be in trouble, because we would then override that one if you have always override. So we actually prompt you with a warning that the defined file name may conflict with an existing drawing. Are you sure? Nope, I'm not sure. I need to recheck and then make sure that I am sure. So just a heads up for that. You can override your existing design data if you are not careful with that. So heads up given. If I look at the step files, where we just exported to different names for the reference components, then that is set during the conversion options as well. So now you can use custom component names, and you can format that file name that are shown in the assembly file however you would like. You can add any model property that are found in the file, a model combination, or you can even add static text if you need that for instance. So you can type in anything, and this is going to be your new file name, or the name that we are referencing for the assembly. So basically, I think that is all there is. Okay. This is actually all that I wanted to show you today. We are really happy about the SP1, and we expect that you are going to be so as well. Apart from all the new things that we have showed, a lot of enhancements went into this version to improve stability. The next webinar will be Introduction to Cloud Connect, where 2 webinars will be held as shown on the screen. We are open for questions when the recording is stopped, but first I want to thank you for attending this webinar and hope to see all of you for the next one. Thank you and have a nice day.
We are in the life-saving business. We kill your routines before they kill you.